The Marlins just got swept by the Colorado Rockies. Wow.
You are Locked On Marlins, your daily podcast on the Miami Marlins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Marlins. The Marlins just got swept by the Rockies. This is a live episode. This is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. I'm just in shock, and I'm angry, and I can't believe what just happened. The Marlins got swept by the worst team in the history of baseball. We're going to break it all down to you. LMF has the bag on his head. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Loud Miami fan, what did we just see? We talked about this on the Monday show. We said this is a must-win series, and they didn't win a game. Not one.
We said they can't leave Miami with 11 wins, and they didn't. They left Miami with 12. 3 straight victories over the Miami Marlins, and they left here sweeping Lone Depot Park. Horrible homestand, 1-5. Might as well have been swept by the Giants, too, and kept that place sparkling, shiny, clean. Because out of a total of 3 games, there was less than 20,000 fans. That place was empty, as it should have been. And this team has made us put the paper bags over our head. Let's get louder. That's all we can do. But it doesn't mean we're going to be winning anytime soon.
This was pathetic. Someone does have to be held accountable. It's a joke right now. You lose 3 in a row to the Rockies, the worst team in the history of baseball. I can't even call them that with a straight face. They just swept the Marlins. What does that make the Marlins? Look at this from Roberto. Does McCullough have any urgency to get wins? I don't know. Look at the lineup he put out today, because that was pathetic. One of the worst lineups I've ever seen in the history of baseball. Let me read it to you really quick. Reminder, the Marlins don't play tomorrow. They have an off day. So in case you're wondering, getting rest for some guys, they're not playing on Thursday. Look at this lineup. Otto Lopez leads off. Agustin Ramirez at DH. Connor Norby is hitting third, playing third base. Eric Wagman, the cleanup hitter. Heriberto Hernandez at left field. Dane Myers hitting all the way down at sixth. He plays right. Nick Fortes is catching. Javier Sanoja in center. Jack Winkler is hitting ninth at second base. That's atrocious. That's a AAA lineup. There's no Kyle Stowers, no Jesus Sanchez, no Xavier Edwards, and you have an off day tomorrow. So, Roberto, you're right. I can't explain that one.
Not even an off day tomorrow. They're not traveling until tomorrow. They have a home night in their own beds tonight where they could live stress-free after a win on a Wednesday. But no, let's just put out a C-, D-, it turns out, lineup, and let's get swept. We need help. We're cheap. We don't want to clean the ballpark ourselves. No, let the Rockies help us. Let's pay them to come to our ballpark, whoop our ass, and make their pitching look like Cy Young contenders. Guys who have 7 ERAs or 5+ ERAs are striking out 9 to 10 Marlins, and it showed. I don't know. Look, congrats on Heriberto Hernandez on your first major league hit. If you can call it that, it was more like a slow play and error. But you got a hit. You drove in an RBI. What the frickin' do? You should not be in the majors. And Winkler, send his ass back tonight. I want Troy Johnston to bring something to this team. I want him called up. I want him on the road from Jacksonville to Tampa tonight. And I hope it's booked by someone that's going to happen, because this team is rocked out by the Rockies' bottom, and it sucks.
I don't even know where to begin. I think McCullough, the way he handled the press conference yesterday, I watched it, and His answer, why was Sandy taken out after 70 pitches? Well, we wanted him to feel good about his outing. Well, and he was doing really well. Then why did you just let him keep going? If you feel like he was pitching so strong, and he was, then keep him in the ball game. Not for a sense of confidence. This isn't Little League, okay? Sandy Alcantara has won a Cy Young award. He's done it before. Why are you doing that? And then the next day you roll out that atrocity of a lineup. It's hard to understand how I feel about Clayton right now, but he's making all the wrong decisions. All of them.
Sandy Alcantara is a Cy Young winner. He's been in battles. He's lost games badly. He was not just this season, but over his career. He went through the rookie woes. He's not a freaking rookie. He could handle it. And if he's throwing 70 pitchers and he's doing well, keep him in, man. Like, the decisions that this team is making, and I don't know if it's just Clayton, if it's just pre-decided these things. You know, Skip Schumacher and I last year, I said something about him on Twitter that he didn't like. And being the direct person that he did, he came at me respectfully. And he said his piece, and he was right. And it was over Jesus Luzardo's first start back from injury. And he was on fire. I think he was at 75 pitches. They pulled him. And then we ended up losing the game because the next pitcher in gave up a couple home runs. And I said, stupid Skip. And Skip Schumacher said, look, man, I will fall on the sword every time for this team, for my players. But these decisions were made before the game. So if on a press conference, Clayton, you want to tell the truth for once and say, look, the decision was made. He was going to be pulled in the sixth no matter what, or after the sixth, give him the quality start. That's the end of it. At least be honest with us. Stop freaking lying to us through your teeth like you did about Xavier Edwards playing shortstop when he's going to be moved back to second. I'm trying not to curse because I know this has to be PG, so I'm holding back a lot here.
Really quick, yeah. DJ Chili Phil, he says, if Sandy stays in one more inning and Bender doesn't show up, our tune would be slightly different. Slightly. Here, I addressed this on last night's show, and I understand the feeling behind it. Well, if the bullpen comes in and they're still nails and they get the win, it's all good. No, I just disagree with that because here's the thing. It's Sandy Alcantara and it's the Rockies and it's 70 pitches. I don't think people understand how low of a pitch count that is for Sandy in particular. Yes, he struggled in 2025, but it's not a matter of health. Oh, the third time through the orders, the worst. His ERA is blown up. Okay, I understand that, but here's the deal. Get him out there for the seventh, and if one or two runners get on, if one runner gets on, okay, pull him. That's fine. But give him the shot. He's not, like you said, he's not a rookie. That I'm just going to still maintain that's the wrong decision. You can't do that as a manager.
It's Sandy Alcantara. Sandy completes games. When Sandy's on the mound, and I said this in a 3-minute video yesterday, when Sandy's on the mound, Sandy keeps the bullpen off the field. That's their day off. That's his career. He gets complete games, or they come in the 8th or 9th. Get him through the 7th. Get him through the 8th. He probably could have. And you know what? I will respectfully say if he goes 6 into the 7th, gives up the lead, that's on him. At least let him lose his own game. That's what
I said. Yeah. And that's on Sandy.
Right. Exactly.
And the over-reliance on analytics. Let's see. LMF disappeared for a second. But yeah, the over-reliance on analytics, it's got to be a mixture, right? It's got to be both. It can't just be one or the other. It's a combination of both. You have to use your eye test and the strengths of your team to go with the analytics. But when you have 60 different lineups, 60, or what is it, 61 now? 61. Like, there's something going on in Miami that all these other teams aren't doing. And now you just got swept by the Rockies. So I understand they're trying to make something work. But I think you're right, 1Z1R low. We gotta just tune it back a little bit and try to blend them together. I have no problem with analytics. You can't overly rely on them. That's when you get into trouble. Really quick, In the next segment, we're going to continue talking about the Rockies. I got to hit the ad, and we're going to continue to talk about McCullough and the hitting. I really want to focus on the hitting of this team because the last few games, last two series has been miserable. That's coming up right after this. And this episode is brought to you by Monarch Money, our friends at Monarch Money. You ever check your bank account and you wonder, where did all my money go? Online shopping, entertainment, Marlins games. Not a lot of people, though. It's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. You know, when it comes to spending money, one of the things I like spending money on is baseball games, football games, sporting events, and those can add up. And sometimes it will be smarter for me if I budget it better. And that's where Monarch Money comes in. It's easy. It's the only app I have to rely on because I can track that spending, check my finances, and then plan those long-term goals for the games that I want to attend to. Maybe my next Marlin game is going to be part of that. So take control of the finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's all right. Half off, guys. monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Welcome back to this live edition of Locked On Marlins. I'm here with Loud Miami fan, and we're still just trying to wrap our heads around it. The fact that the Marlins got swept by an awful baseball team. No excuse that this should have happened. The floor is yours, LMF, when it comes to hitting, because I'm going to have my piece because the bats are just ice cold. There's no continuity with the lineups. There's nobody clutch. There is no groove, rhyme, or reason when it comes to this Marlins team, and their approach is looking worse and worse by the game. And that's just by the eye test. The numbers will tell the same story. Awful.
I said it. I mean it. In a game where consistency and repetition are the most important, that's baseball. These players need to be in a solid position, know where they're coming out, know if they're playing or not on a daily basis. And that is not happening. You can't have a guy in the 4th spot one day, in the 6th spot the next day, in the 9th spot the next day. It's just hurting them. Baseball's a mental game, right? There's so much that we as fans don't understand that go through their minds. And Rod Allen, Kyle Seeloff, Tommy Hutton, former athletes who played the game, try to tell us what's going to happen, what the players are thinking, because it's such a mind game, a mind and thinking game when you're at the plate. Unfortunately, these players are being moved around so much that they're worrying about where they are, right? Why is X hitting better now that he's at second? Because he's comfortable, because he knows what position he's going to be in. He doesn't have to worry about making an error on any play. And Otto Lopez has filled in great. Had 2 wonderful catches in today's game, right? In shortstop. But X is playing better now because he's comfortable. But you know who wasn't in the lineup today? Xavier Edwards. You know who got taken out last night? Dane Myers moved to the 6th spot today. Why? Why in the 6th spot? Dude has a great batting average, I think, versus lefties. He should be in the 4. He should be at cleanup. When Connor Norby is on base, we don't need Wagaman hitting into a double play. Not saying Dane played perfect in the last series. He's had his flaws. I love Dane Myers. He's a great person. I'm, again, not talking bad. I'm just stating the truth about every player, right? Connor Norby, until today, was ice cold. You bring him in the bottom of the 9th yesterday after he's won for like 23. What is he going to do to snap out of it in the bottom of the 9th? He's not.
How about this one? Dane Myers, pinch hit yesterday in the 9th, pinch hit today as well. Both for lefties. Liam Hicks last night, Jesus Sanchez today. Get this. Dane Myers' average against right-handers this season, he's 17 for 60. That's good for a 283 clip and an OPS over 700 at 728. It's not like he's awful against righties. That's good numbers. And you've pinch hit for him twice. He's one of the best hitters. I'm sorry, but bringing in these matchups every single game, get away from the laptop. Get away from the analytics for 1 second, please. And watch the darn game.
If you're going to pinch hit, if you're going to pinch hit to bring Jesus Sanchez it has to be that has to be for Humberto Hernandez. It doesn't need to be for Dane Myers. You need to keep Dane Myers in the game so he gets an opportunity to hit a walk-off or something. No, Jesus got a hit. His slow turtle self-running got thrown out on a plate for the second time, I think, either this series over the past four games or 5 games. So they all run into each other. It's been so bad. But in general, Jesus has been great. He has a 9-game hit streak or 10-game hit streak now, I guess.
10.
10 games. Great for him. He's doing well, working up to get out of here. He's going to be traded.
Oh, he's
we don't
gone,
want that $3.5 or $4.2 million. Maybe it's even 5.5 now on our salary books. They want him out of here. But if that's the case, then bring up Victor Mesa Jr., who you made such a big deal about calling up, and then you send him down for Humberto Hernandez and Jesse Winkler. Like, come on. Do something right. Do something to shoot adrenaline into their veins. Don't give them I hate talking bad about the players. So when I say this, I'm not talking directly at the players. Don't bring up major league not ready players that are great in AAA where they should stay. Or please come out and say to the fans, we're going to bring up guys up and down. We want to see how they do. It's not about winning this season. It's about player development and seeing where they are. So next year,
here's the thing. Heriberto Hernandez is not part of your plans. Jesse Winkler is not part of your plans. Where do you stand on Dane Myers? Because to me, the eye test, if they're by watching him get taken out the last 2 games, no faith in him at the plate against righties for whatever reason, like, do you want Dane Myers? You're treating him like a minor leaguer, like a career AAA guy who's just a waiver claim and kind of like Derek Hill. Like, Dane Myers is not Derek Hill. He's hit, and he's continued to hit. And I know it's been a slow start for these last few games. He's also coming off of an injury. That's fine. But for power, for speed, he's the real deal. You take him out in the 7th inning. Heriberto Hernandez is going to come around to hit at some point. Just don't leave him in the game. It's ridiculous.
After the failed sliding catch, garbage in the first inning, which gave the lead up right away by Humberto Hernandez, I have no faith in that guy. You're right. Dane Myers, to me, should be part of the team's future. He has 3 or 4 years left to control. The guy is a great defender. He's better. I like Dane Myers more than I like Brian De La Cruz. And I loved Brian De La Cruz. And I believe in Dane Myers. Like, I speak to him off the, like, I don't talk about our conversation, but I speak to him. He knows what's going on. He's very smart. I think
Dane's going to get traded at some point. Like, next year. Like, that's going to happen. He's 29. That's the thing. Like, here we go. Does it all matter? Not what does matter in life. What does matter in baseball when you're a Marlins fan? Like, that's the biggest question we got to ask ourselves. But, we watch this team religiously. Dane Myers was a breakout player for the Marlins. They noticed that. He's 29, probably won't be traded this season, maybe next year's deadline. That's the way this cycle works. It's so frustrating. DJ Chili, again, base running needs some work. Oh my goodness. We have to talk about this. The base running was beyond miserable, beyond pathetic. Bad coaching, getting picked off, making bad reads. This is just a classic example of a bad baseball team in action.
The third base coach had to pull Wagaman back and say, get closer to the bag, because Stallings was about to throw him out. I do want to say to those who are listening, thank you for listening live to this special edition of Locked On Marlins. Make sure to subscribe to us or to Jeremiah's show. This is his show. Just subscribe to Jeremiah, click follow us on X, click subscribe. We want your comments right now. We're appreciating your interactions, so keep them coming.
Absolutely. Coming up next, we're going to talk about how the impact of getting swept by the Rockies, how much of an impact that really has. Is it just a blip on the radar, or is it signs of further trouble to come? That's coming up right after this. This episode is brought to you by our friends over at Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. They got an easy-to-use website. There's no confusion, guys. So whether you are a trade professional or somebody else that you know, you go on the website, and all the information that they have is going to help you get the job done and get it done right. Over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands. So you're going to find exactly what you need. And when you need it delivered, it's going to be in a timely manner, and they ship all over the United States from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert leading support and industry leading service. You'll always talk to a real person, no robots, no analytics, no computers. And if you're a trade professional looking for that extra edge, they got a free Trade Master program, offers exclusive perks, dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every single order. So join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering your plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. And reminder that if you're watching on YouTube, like LMF said, you can also listen to the show on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, each and every platform out there, Monday through Friday. Locked On Marlins is your place to be. And LMF, here we go. Was this series just a bad series, or was it indicative of the struggles to come this summer? Because I feel like we could be entering the dog days of summer, and it's early June. I'm not ready for it, but oh my goodness, was this bad?
I think we've entered it about a month ago, to be honest with you. I think when this team,
Probably.
I'm not saying that to be funny. It's just we've been ignoring it because, we are in every game. We get the comebacks almost every game. We've enjoyed watching these players develop up until this point, because now you are at Rockies rocked out bottom where you just got swept, and it doesn't get much easier. Since Tampa's left Miami after we beat them in Miami in that 3-game series, Tampa's been pretty good since. I think they're even over 500 right now. They're playing at home outside in a minor league stadium that they're used to. Our players are minor league players. Maybe they could take advantage of that. Maybe. But then you go to Pittsburgh. And then after that, the schedule gets a lot tougher. You're back home for Father's Day weekend and Billy the Marlin's birthday. And then Phillies are in town for 4 games. So we are in a spot right now that we need to pick up some momentum. It's not good that we're 14. I think it's 14 games by my math. I think it's 37 and 23. We're 14 games under 500 now. You don't want, look, no one's showing up to the ballpark anyway, but you don't want that to snowball down and become where you're now 15, 20 games under 500 on June 15th. We can't let that happen. Our pitchers weren't bad, right? Sandy was finally good. Max was injured. I'll give him his fault. His fault is he doesn't tell them that he's injured, and I blame him for that. I get it. As an athlete, you don't want to miss your starts. You don't want to go on the IL. But, man, you have 27 guys behind you or 26 guys behind you that you need to step up for and be honest about. But that's youth, right?
Yeah, I think the schedule. I want to mention this comment by Zenman. Bendix perpetual rebuild, starting another rebuild. This is what I'm starting to see, people talking about trading guys now. This has to stop. I can't get behind it, and it could happen because it's a never-ending cycle, and I think it's awful. It's awful for the Marlins. You have to, at some point, figure out who's going to be here long-term. You have Yuri Perez coming back next week. That's awesome. I can't wait. But you and I both know they're going to handle him very carefully. He's not going to go out there and throw 7-8 innings every night and be this superstar. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to be Paul Skeens right off the bat. He's coming off of surgery.
He could be throwing a 70-pitch game with 4 hits and giving up only 2 runs, and they'll pull him out in the 5th, after the 5th. So, I mean, Sandy gets pulled out in the 6th. They'll pull Yuri out after the 5th, just to not work up his innings. I don't believe that these players, and we got to stop as a fan base, they're going to get traded, they're going to get traded. Look, Connor Norby is a piece for the future, right? I don't think Kyle Stowers is a piece of the future. Griffin Conine, I believe, is a piece of this future because his dad works here, and he was hitting around 280, 285 when he got injured in that freak injury. I think Norby, Augustin Ramirez is a piece of this future, right? Xavier Edwards may not be because you have too many second basemen who can't play third or short. Norby's been doing well, but don't get me wrong, he's not a third baseman, and he'll tell you that. He'll tell you he's trying, but he'd rather be at second base. He's a piece of the future. I like Dane Myers as a piece of the future, at least for the next 4 years. At least keep a friendly person in that dugout. What we're missing is a veteran. That is the mistake. There's no one to pull us out, to step up in that clubhouse right now to say, hey, I'm here to help you guys grow. No one's going to sit Augustin Ramirez, who's struggling right now at the plate, sit him down and be able to talk to him. I don't trust these coaches for the life of me. I don't trust McCullough. He may be a great guy, but he's taking it from the front office and doing what he signed up to do, which is be a robot. That's all he is. And I swear, and I hope, I want them to be better. I want the media to be better down here and ask the tough questions. Look, Joe Frisaro has it right. They coddle this team. They coddle the management because the media that does cover them either works for them or is so worried about breaking a relationship with them. Ask the tough questions. Put pressure on the management to do better, not just the players.
The management has to be better. The coaching has to be better. What a conspiracy here, DJ Chili Phil. After hearing all the trade cycles, his mother thinks the team only exists to develop players to send to other teams, basically a quad A team. Well, that's what we've been the last few years. You're not wrong. Brian 35, Brian says he called it. He said we got swept. Yeah, you called it, Brian. I did not expect that, but am I surprised? No. Would the Marlins be better if Sherman sold the team to someone from Miami and is a Marlins fan? Absolutely, if they had the resources for it, but Sherman doesn't have the dough. Sherman doesn't have the dough. You need money. In the sale that when Jorge Moss was involved and Bruce Sherman got it instead, that was a huge blow to the future of this team. It's been 8 years and they still haven't accomplished anything.
Jeter, it was all about Jeter, and he tricked the people. He tricked Major League Baseball. He tricked Bruce Sherman. It's all about business, right? Take it from a business standpoint. Sherman will not make his $1.2 million right now. He won't make $1.5 million.
No way.
He would have to sell the team around $900,000, and 900 million. And that $2 million he doesn't want to lose, right? That $200 million he doesn't want to lose. There's a lot of money involved here, right? And that's why we're going to be in this crappy situation unless Bendix, whatever he's doing, and I wish they were honest with us, he's doing is going to either work or not work. And I'm not judging him based off one season. I'm not one of these guys calling, Bendix made all the wrong moves. No. Bendix traded Trevor Rogers for Connor Norby and Stowers. That's a great move.
So I want to go back to one thing you said earlier. Kyle Stowers, you don't think he's the building block of the future. You'd be okay with them trading him this season?
Not this season. Yes.
I mean, he's been great this year.
He was great until 2 weeks ago, until he started pressing and stopped being loose like he was at the beginning. Right. That's what these players are doing right now. They're pressing. You see it in their faces. It's the struggle. It's Matt Mervis, when he was struggling, he was pressing, right? Striking out, hitting into grounders, getting no RBIs. if they all do that at the same time, which seems to be happening because they're losing more frequently, and this is why I say they need a veteran. A veteran like McCutcheon does on the Pirates has to sit them down, take leadership in the dugout, and sit with them and go, look, it's going to be okay. Play your game. And that's why I say consistency matters, because these players in baseball, 70% is mental, 30% is skill. And I'm not that 30% matters, right? But they're overthinking. And when you overthink, you strike out or you make errors on the field, like it has been happening. That's where we are, and someone needs to bring them out of it.
Shout out Brian. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Brian. Everyday listener of the show. Stowers, here's the thing. Stowers was in a slump, but he got a couple hits. Hit a double the other night, and then got another base hit last night. Maybe he's getting some momentum, and then all of a sudden he's out of the lineup. I hate that. I hate that he just snaps the momentum again. Go out there and let him hit.
When I say building blocks for the future, I'm talking about guys that you can potentially offer a 7-year contract to, right?
Oh, okay,
that's what I mean. Like
that makes sense.
Future of the team, I mean someone who's actually going to be here for a very long time. I thought Jazz was going to be that guy. Obviously, They thought different. Augustin could be the guy because they can offer him a Yelich type contract where it's team friendly, a Sandy type contract where it's team friendly. I don't mean trade him right now. I just don't see him here in 4 years or 5 years getting that long-term deal.
Yeah, I mean, the fire sales, Brian, 10 years, 2 owners, 2 fire sales. You had the rebuild 2018. Now we're in a rebuild, which is, there's no timetable on it. That's the issue. And it goes back to honesty. What tuned me out last season with Peter Bendix so early on was the inability to be honest with the fan base. And that goes from top to bottom. It's on all facets within everything of this organization. Just communication to the fans. We're going to win a lot more than we think than you think we will. We're going to win now and in the future. Just be honest. Be honest with the fans. The fans are miserable of this. They're tired of this. They want something to rally behind, and it's not happening right now. Just communicate that. Say there's going to be the light at the end of the tunnel. Communicate, but they won't.
Look at what it's different sport. Look at what the Florida Panthers have done. Who good luck to them in the Stanley Cup starting tonight. What the Florida Panthers did is say, look, we are rebuilding. It's going to take time, but we're going to do it right. No more of this half-ass job. We're going to take it all away, build it back up. We're going to invest. That's what they did. You saw the Houston Astros did it when they had their 10 years of glory, winning 2 championships, but making it to the ALCS almost every year. You see it with what I think the Orioles can be. They've struggled. Their new ownership says, look, we'll invest when we need to. That's still to see. But I look at the Rays and I look at the Astros. If done right, the Rays have never won a championship, but it can be done where you're consistently competitive and over 81 games a year, and that's where I want the Marlins to be.
I want the Marlins to be in the playoffs and win a World Series. That's where I am, and right now it feels like they're so far away from that goal where it's hard to really get excited for 2026, 2027 with the current state of the organization. It's very obvious to me that they need more talent, which is why they need Sandy to be better so they can trade him eventually for a haul. And here's the X factor, and we're going to wrap it up right here. They need to draft. They need to draft well. Not enough people are talking about this. We're talking about prospects. Prospects don't just grow on trees. They take development, time, resources, investment in the future. What have the Marlins done in the 2024 draft? PJ Morlando, who can't stay on the field, and Carter Johnson, who is not looking very good in the low minors. It's going to take time. You got to hit this draft coming up because college baseball, it's almost the College Baseball World Series. That's something to keep an eye on for the future. Look, this weekend, you got the Citrus Series again. This time you're going to a minor league park. It should be a fun experience for those who make the trip over there. if you like watching Major League Baseball in a minor league stadium. But yeah, any last words as we wrap this up, LMF?
They're going to what they are used to playing in, and hopefully they play well there. Look, I'm still going to cheer for this team, and I'm going to tell everybody listening, you should also still cheer for this team.
Yeah.
Let's get the negative out. They're going to lose more than they win, but they're going to try hard. It's the lack of trying that we saw, the lack of competitiveness over the last 5-6 games, that the leaving the guys in running position, the bad base running, the bad errors. That's stuff that breaks my heart, because I know that they're better than that. And they don't have to win to get my approval. They just have to play up to where their level is, and now they're not. They played down. Thank you for having
play
me
down.
today, Maya.
It's not regression. It's development. How can you progress? How can you get better? I'm not saying you got to make the playoffs, but I do want to see competitiveness and fire and the desire to win. That's the big thing. Don't just settle for 70 pitches before you pull Sandy Alcantara. Don't just settle for a AAA lineup because you want to give your guys an off day when you have an off day tomorrow. We got to make better decisions as an organization, and hopefully we go in and we win the series against the Rays. That's going to do it for this live edition of Locked On Marlins. I appreciate you guys all for listening. And until next time, stay safe, stay locked on, and let's go fish.